everyone. Today we are tackling a super interesting problem. It's all about finding the next greater element. Okay, so this is the problem statement given. I have a set of integers in an array where you are going to find the next largest element's index for each and every element. If I consider 63, its next largest element is at the location 1. Okay, it is the distance between the current element and the very next largest element. That's what you are going to obtain. Whereas if I take 65, the next number is actually 61 and the next number is 59, 62, and these three are smaller to 65, whereas the 66 is larger than this 65. So that's what our aim is. So you have to travel distance 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how you can find the largest element for of this 65. Okay, so that's how you have to get the output array also. Okay, if there is no such largest element, in this case 66, say the very next number is 63, after that we don't have any other element, so in that case the output will be 0. So here we'll have to get the input from the user. I'll have a scanner of. Next, I'm going to get the n value from the user. Next, I have to get the array element. So before that, I have to declare an array. I'm naming it as A, which is of type integer, and that's going to hold n value. Now I have to apply each and every array element. So we have obtained the array elements. We have to have a resultant array. Okay, so I'm going to have a resultant array that is also of the length same as the n, because for each and every element I have to identify the distance between the next largest element. So how much ever element I have in the array, the same should be there in the resultant array as well. So next is, let me assign everything to be 0. Next comes the main part. So we can easily identify, or we can identify the distance between the next largest element from the end. Okay, so from the end, if I try to identify the next largest element, if I consider this element and if I consider the very next element, I can check whether this one is largest or not. So for this purpose, I am going to use the concept of stack that is going to hold integers, naming it as stk. So the basic stack operations will be performed, that is push, pop, pick, everything could be performed over here. Fine. So each and every time I'll be looking out the index of the element, and that index is getting pushed onto the stack. So I'll have a condition. So I told like I'll be taking from the end of the array. So until I greater than 0, I minus minus, from the last I'm going to calculate. So the very first condition is, whenever the value of this stack is not empty, when it is not empty, along with that I check the another condition, and that condition is if A of the peak value, if it is less than A of I, then I can pop. How much our values you are finding over here, that is whenever the stack is not empty and if it satisfies this condition, then you will be keep on popping out the value. And next is the stack is empty, then I will make the resultant array value to be 0. See here, if I consider the very first value here, 63, at this time I'll have an empty stack. There was no element which is being pushed in. So in that cases, what I'll do, I'll immediately mark it as 0 because after this I don't have any other element. That is, there is no possibility to have a larger element as well. So what I'll do is I'll mark this as 0 immediately. Yes, if I have the elements, then what I have to do? I have to perform some operation over here. That is, result of I is equal to whatever the index value which I am keeping inside the stack, that have to be taken out. So stk dot pop minus the current I value. So if you come here, so at the stack you will be having 66 and here you will be having 62. So it means you have something in the stack. So in that case, you will be popping out the value onto the stack. So the value onto the stack will be A of 6, that is sixth value, the index 6 value. So here it will be like 6 minus 5. So the result will be 1. So that's why the result has been made just 1 over here. And each time I have to push one value, that is the index value, onto the stack. Push off. So finally I have to print the result. That's it. Let me rename this as this to avoid confusion. Okay. Now I'm going to give the same value over here. So the very first thing is 8, next is 63, 64, 65, 61, 59, 62, 66, 60. Here it should be equal. And 8, 63, 64, 65, 61, 59, 62, 66, 60. So we have got the solution.